Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For those who are new here, I am Psychic Bella Love, and you can book your own personal private reading with me on my website, psychicbellalove.com, and you can use coupon code FREE, all in caps, for all of November 2021 to get an extra 30% off any appointment on the site. And if you are booking after November 30th, 2021, you can use coupon code NEW, all in caps, to get extra money off at checkout if you are a new client. And both of those codes count for every appointment on the site, excluding emergency appointments, which are available. If you don't want to wait for an opening in my schedule, you can skip the line and get to talk to me within 24 hours. Also, you can join my Patreon. That is the only place that I accept requests for celebrity readings. Also, we have exclusive lives, and all my content that is on Patreon stays on Patreon. And we talk about who's evil in the industry and all the conspiracy theory stuff. So if you're into that, you definitely want to join us over there. You can also follow me on Instagram and my backup channel. I will be doing live celebrity readings from my backup channel once we hit the 1,000 subscribers that YouTube requires for that. So guys, I am going to be taking a look at Lisa Rinna and Harry Hamlin's relationship, marriage, whatever, because there's a lot going on there. So people have been alleging that Harry has like some I don't know if it's like an affair, because I guess it's an affair because it was going on for a few months apparently with somebody named Patricia in Canada. Then other people were saying it's actually somebody named Patrick. So we'll take a look and see what Spirit has to say about that. There's also a bunch of questions regarding a couple of his exes too that I'm going to ask the cards in Spirit about, because everybody in the comments, every time I do any of the Real Housewives topics, always brings up Harry Hamlin and Lisa Rinna. And if you guys know, I haven't, like, the last real franchise that I really watched was Potomac, and even that was a few years ago. So I had no idea all of the Harry Hamlin, Lisa Rinna stuff. I was Googling it to see like what was really going on, and that's where like Nicolette Sheridan came up and Julianne Phillips, and something happened with Kim Richards yelling at Lisa Rinna about this. So we're going to ask about that, because now I'm all confused and want to know. So let's go ahead and get into it. I already shuffled up the cards and prayed over them before I got started. So that way we could just jump right in, since I'm sure this is going to be kind of a long one. So I'm just going to give it another quick shuffle and then start asking some questions. Also, if you are new here, please do subscribe. I am pre-recording, so I don't know what day this will come out, but I do have all kinds of content going up throughout the rest of the year, like literally daily uploads. But the problem is YouTube is all over the place with how long it takes to upload things. So I can't always guarantee everything's at a set time. And of course, things happen throughout the week. And if I have a moment between my personal clients, I will jump on and record videos about anything that is trending or happening in the moment. So you want to make sure you hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of that. Well, Harry Hamlin definitely has a public face and a private face, okay? You know, some people are the same pretty much wherever you go, and you might get like a more like toned down professional, you know, version of them, but they're still pretty much the same. Whereas other people, what they show publicly and then who they really are in their own private life can be two completely different things. And we're definitely getting that as far as how Mr. Hamlin is concerned. Like I said, I haven't really watched, I don't think I've really seen any of him on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, because I was gonna go back and like try to rewatch and catch up and at least start from like where Erica came in, because I was all intrigued by her and Tom's relationship. But then I realized I don't have hours upon hours to watch all of these shows. So I tried to watch kind of some of the episodes from this season, but it was more about trying to figure out like all the Erica and Tom stuff again, but it was confusing. So I stopped. So I haven't seen any of Lisa and Harry's interactions on the show with each other, or how he's coming across or anything. But so this is just speculation. I could be completely wrong. I get the energy of somebody who makes themselves seem kind of quiet and reserved, or more, you know, like that kind of intelligent bookworm where it's like, I say things when it's important, but I'm not trying to be that person that's always talking. But in his private life, he is much more charismatic, outgoing. Like, I drink, I let loose, I know how to have a party and a good time. And sometimes the most reserved seeming people can be that way because they know that they themselves have such a tendency to get out of control. Whether that means I can't have one drink because I can't stop at one and I will have 10, or I can't not keep to my cleaning schedule because I know how I am and it'll look like hoarders in here within a month. You know, I always have to keep myself under control because I don't trust myself not to go from 0 to 100 in whatever that category may be for them, right? And for him, it feels like it's something partying-ish, you know, and like I used to be a big party guy, and there is times where if I'm out of town and the kids aren't and the wife ain't around, I'm gonna let loose and have a real good ass time. But then thank God the wife and kids aren't there because the house is trashed the next morning or something like that. So there is a lot of it for the public's sake, for our own career's sake. It looks better to present ourselves as this united, tight family unit. We all, you know, get along. Everything is great and dandy. However, that's not really what is the case. Like, there's a lot of living completely separate lives. So it's very similar to how I said in my Will and Jada reading, and if you didn't see that, go back on my channel and look. I have a lot of uploads. So a lot of times you guys like ask me for videos and I've already done them. But I got in that where it's like, they don't really live in that same house anymore. However, Will shows up, you know, when it's time to film and act like they do. It feels like Harry does the same, because here he is as this King of Pentacles with this Chariot card here. But then there's also this Four of Swords talking about, you know, a home is kind of almost like a prison in a sense. So it's like, ugh, I gotta go serve a weekend in jail because I didn't finish my community service kind of energy attached to it whenever he does have to go home. However, you know, there is this, let's show the public that we're this big happy family because it helps both of us financially, it looks better for us as our own careers and keeping things afloat. But that is a false presentation. That's not what is really going on. And if you guys didn't know, in the midst of all of the mess that was going on with Erica and Tom, you know, Ronald Richards leaked some other stuff that's happening with Lisa Rinna and Harry Hamlin financially. And even though I guess Harry's owned that house, or they've owned that house for like 25 plus years or something like that, there's a bunch of mortgages against it for millions of dollars. And Lisa is fighting a couple $1 million worth of lawsuits right now too. So Spirit is saying that there is this whole, we got to keep it together for the sake of our financial situation at the moment, because by putting this PR spin on it, there's more opportunities. And keep in mind too, you know, again, every famous person has some sort of an ego. You have to think that you know, the world wants to see you doing what you're doing, because it's tough. And she does not want to give people who have been such big naysayers against her, against this relationship, the satisfaction of knowing that what goes on inside that house is very different from what we all see on the outside. And I'm going to ask some more questions, because picking up this energy, it ties into some of these questions that I had written down earlier. And when I wrote them down, I didn't have any opinion and I wasn't tuned into this whatsoever. I was just like, oh, these are things that are a big deal that people are going to want to know about in this reading too, I guess. But I keep getting something about there having been a struggle to be in this relationship in the first place and keep it going. So it's one of those, I made my bed, so I'm going to die on this hill and prove everybody wrong kind of situations, you know, and it doesn't feel great. Energetically, I'm like, I don't know who's, well, I mean, I think I know who, but let's see. So let's ask about the affair stuff first, and then we'll go into the things that, you know, are more around Harry's past. Obviously, there is some allegations of some sort of assault, but then the person that is alleged to have been the recipient or on the receiving end of that denied it and said that's not what happened. And then people said no, they were just dating, and he was you know, basically being a dirty dog and playing her and Rinna at the same time. So I mean, the person that was alleged to have been the victim has said no, and there has been pictures that came out of her and her husband and Rinna and Hamlin having dinner together. So I'm not even going to entertain that and risk my channel on YouTube anyways. And especially because, unless Spirit wants to tell us that. But, you know, because some things are people's own story to tell, not that it's Harry's story to tell if he was doing something about that. But, you know, if he does have any victims, that is their story to tell, and it's not our place to take that from them until they're ready to share that. So, let's see. Spirit, can you please tell us, is it true that Harry Hamlin steps out on Lisa Rinna? In particular, when he's spending his months upon months, quote unquote, working up in Canada. Thank you. I will say I did watch Mad Men, the whole series, and I always forget that that was Harry Hamlin. Like, there's so much stuff that Harry Hamlin's been in, and then I just completely forget it because he's one of those people that just, I think he becomes the character so much that it's easy to, like, dismiss that, like, oh, look, that's Harry Hamlin playing him. But also, I think that everybody that was on that show did a good job of really becoming their characters. Because it took me a while to think of John Hamm as anybody but Mr. Draper. So... well, Harry definitely has a lot of secrets that he fights very hard to keep from coming out in the public, both from his past and in the present. But his worry is more so about the effect that it would have on his children, because he doesn't want them, you know, being discriminated against because it's like, oh, your dad did this or that, or for his kids to look at him differently, because he does take being a dad seriously. Okay, well, he definitely cheats. We've got the Three of Pentacles and the Three of Swords came right on up, and this is talking about it being a series of not only like I have relationships with certain people, but also that there is a lot of, you know, if I just ran into somebody and we hit it off for the night. But I'm trying to think of how I can say this in a way that is appropriate for YouTube, and it feels like Harry goes to some special kind of parties that Borat featured in one of his movies, if you know what I mean, where people swing when he's up in Canada, and that him and some of the people that, you know, because it feels like he has a relationship with somebody up there, and then they go to these parties together and participate in all kinds of things at these parties together, and stuff that Lisa would never want to do herself. So Harry goes off and does all of that on his own and gets it out of his system when he's up in Canada, allegedly. So they've actually split up in the past over this, but never like publicly let people know about it. And it feels like it was actually right before she started filming the show, because Spirit's talking about this having been in like 5 keeps coming up. So this was probably like 5-6 years ago, and it was, we're separating and he was staying up there, and they were really deciding like, who, you know, when are we going to tell the kids and all this stuff. And then the show came up and it became, well, can we hang on because we have this opportunity and this show? And Spirit is saying that this was a really big opportunity for Lisa, because she didn't have like a lot of steady jobs coming in for her at that time, or something that was like super stable, you know, like, oh, look, you're a series regular on this show or something, where she had this, you know, income that she could count on. So there was this agreement of, you know, you'll come in and we'll pretend like we're still good and everything for the cameras so that I can get myself in a better financial situation. And then once we get all of that straightened out, then we can go ahead and move on with our lives, but not right now. So Spirit is saying that actually references that whole him feeling trapped and like he's checking in for prison when he has to go home thing, because they really don't have a hell of a lot of a relationship. And now, you know, they're kind of stuck in all of this because the thing is that other allegations and stuff has arisen. And so now they're forced to hold on and present this even stronger false front of everything is fine and dandy. That's not true. So, and I mean, Spirit is saying, yes, there was a Patricia, but there's plenty of other people, you know, and there is that whole situation of the parties where people like to run around and swing. So, you know, that should answer some of the other questions, because I'm trying to be really careful because we're on YouTube and everything is all alleged for entertainment purposes only. We're telling stories about people with pictures on cards. Excuse me. Okay, so... All right, so the next question is about like I said, we're not going to dig into the other accusations of the Julianne Phillips situation. I just am going to ask if it's true that Harry and her were also dating while he was dating Lisa Rinna. Spirit, is it true that Harry Hamlin was dating Julianne Phillips at the same time that he was dating Lisa Rinna? Thank you. Julianne Phillips looks really good for her age, too. Nice. Pictures of her kept popping up when I was Googling. I was like, dang, she looks good. Okay. So the story with that is that she found out that because they were filming something together, and he was dating Lisa Rinna too, but like they hadn't come out publicly. And Julianne found out through friends that Harry was, you know, dating Lisa also, and she broke up with him. You know, the one story is that he went and attacked her for one last good time. The other story is that they were just not getting along on set, and he didn't want Lisa Rinna to find out that he'd been dating both of them, but Lisa supposedly did, and then they started harassing Julianne and blackballed her. So I'll ask if that part's true. He definitely was playing both sides of the fence with both of them, is what Spirit is saying. You know, he thought he was hot stuff, and he was running around town, you know, getting all the pretty girls. And it's true that Julianne left because she was like, I don't need this kind of nonsense from somebody like that. However, Lisa Rinna, you know, decided that she was going to die on that hill and stuck around. Girl. Seeing in this reading, I don't really think that you won much. So that part is true. Now I want to ask, did Lisa mean girl Julianne out of Hollywood? Spirit, is it true that Harry Hamlin and Lisa Rinna ran Julianne Phillips out of Hollywood? Thank you. Because this was one of those blind item rumors or something, I guess, that was going around about somebody having gotten ran out of Hollywood, and everybody was saying it was Lisa Rinna and Harry Hamlin. Well, Spirit saying she was already having issues with her career and feeling like there was either, you know, I have to participate in the casting couch games, or I'm going to get stereotyped into certain roles. So she was frustrated and kept feeling like she was hitting a lot of walls with her career, and she didn't like that she wasn't getting the opportunity to go in the direction that she wanted it to. However, was there some actions from a certain Mr. Harry Hamlin that further sped up her leaving? Yes. And Lisa participated in that. You guys, Lisa keeps coming up as the Eight of Swords card. She really never expected everything that she would have to compromise herself for by marrying him. Spirit saying she did love him, but she also did think that, you know, being connected to Mr. Harry Hamlin was somehow going to elevate her and her career. And it didn't do a whole lot for her career the way that she thought it was going to. But it also did far less for her personally, because she's had to close her eyes and look the other way to a lot. And Spirit saying that's why she was so quick to defend Erica so much, because she understands that whole dynamic of having an older, more powerful husband and either not knowing everything that he's up to or having to choose to look the other way, because if you did know, then you can't live with yourself. So, and that's also why Spirit's saying she was so hard on Denise, because her own marriage always has an outside person as an issue, and because of that, she really was triggered. So, all right, guys, we're gonna ask if it's true that Nicolette Sheridan cheated on him with Michael Bolton. Spirit, is it true that Harry Hamlin caught Nicolette Sheridan cheating on him with Michael Bolton? Yes or no? Thank you. No. I got the death card. Nope. It's because Harry was doing other things, and her story of this was stuff that was between me and you, and we broke up face to face, and don't make me tell the truth about you. Nicolette Sheridan was telling the truth. You know, it's just Harry and Lisa obviously have a tendency to rewrite history. But Spirit is saying she did not cheat on him. He cheated on her. But they didn't break up because of cheating. It was because of other things. And he's the King of Swords. He wasn't exactly the nicest of husbands to her anyways. And I feel like the cheating stuff wasn't the catalyst for her leaving, but she found out more so about that after they had already called it quits. So anyways, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end that here. My voice is starting to go out because I've been recording nonstop for the past 4 days. I love you all so very much. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I have tons of content coming your way. Make sure, if you want to book your own personal and private reading, join my Patreon, follow me on the backup channel or Instagram. You check out the description box below. And make sure you guys have an amazing day. I love you so much. Bye.